Hey guys, hey guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. So, a couple of weeks ago, I announced the League of Legends that they're coming out with an MMORPG. So today, I wanted to go through basically what would be more great ideas. What could they do to make this game great and make sure that it's not a flop, right? So these are my thoughts. This is what I think that will actually make a difference in the game. Tell me what you guys think at the end of the video, and I'll go through my thoughts. Here we go. First of all, end game content. So, this is or at least it shouldn't be a tricky one, just for the sole purpose that you're playing an MMORPG, right? You're not playing Diablo. You're not playing Baldur's Gate. You're not playing Path of Exile. You should, yes, have a great end game content, but that should not be your selling point. You don't want to just skip through all this, I guess, world that you've built, all this material content, bosses, dungeons, raids that you've built for the sole purpose to go to the end of the game and grind items. That's essentially what those type of Diablo and Baldur's Gate games are made to do. Just constant, constant grinding. Sorry, you don't want these type of games when it comes to an MMORPG. You want to be able to go out in the world. You want to be able to explore, do different types of things. I don't know, gain reputation, being able to form a guild. Matter that you're forming a guild. You don't want to just do a dungeon to be able to say, hey, I got a blue. Oh, guess what? Now I did the next dungeon and all this work that I put in getting this item now is absolutely worthless. You're, you want it to be some type of end game, but that should not be the point of this type of a game. So obviously I'm comparing it right now to how World of Warcraft became. So it started off with being able to have a lot of different things that you can do from gaining reputation. That reputation will get you a certain type of perks. You would be able to get, let's say, different types of mounts. You would be able to start off with some factions in hated, and you had to work yourself up to green, where that meant that you would become friendly, revered, exalted, and you can now go to their cities, buy specific items. Like, it made a difference. You would want to go and do certain things in a game, and the end game content was just one extra piece of it, right? League of Legends, there's a lot of things in here that they can make it great. They can do a lot of great things, and hopefully they can learn from World of Warcraft's mistakes, right? World of Warcraft at the moment, they really became more of grinding. Let's go to endgame content as fast as possible. Let's give you a bunch of things to do, and let's hope you like it. If not, well, the expansion was a waste. Let's work on the next one. That makes no sense to me. Next, customization. Now, this is a huge one. So, needless to say, the customization is very important, right? And looking at League of Legends, they kind of have that customization piece like already built, because you're looking at the characters that you can pick. You have over 140 characters or heroes or whatever you want to call them. There's a lot of choices. So just being able to pick different characters, number one, not everybody's going to have the same type of hero, right? So one of them is going to be more of a tank, the other one's going to be more of a range caster, and they have so many choices that you can customize and build your own character, right? Plus, not to mention the other customization options I'm going to go through right now that you can do. That being said, in this type of game, I don't know how you guys feel about it. I would really hate going in and trying to choose one of 140 different types of heroes for me to be able to play. It's just nonsense, right? They kind of have to narrow it down with the storyline, have a select type of heroes, and being able to choose from those, right? You guys may not agree with it, but listen to why I believe this might be a better idea. Think of playing your World of Warcraft character. And how many times have you thought, I've chosen this type of talent tree? I don't know. I think if I change it up and select something different, it might be more beneficial for my character, right? Knowing fully well that nowadays a spellcaster is a spellcaster. They all have very similar type of spells and counters and everything. It's not like it used to be back in the days. So you're selecting a tank, you're selecting a healer. They're very similar in that sense. Obviously, they have some differences, but nothing that will really make a significant difference in game. So if you already have so much variety and so much doubt to kind of go around and change your talents, picture having that with 140 characters. It's just crazy. Now, number two, yes, I get that there still has to be some type of customization, and I don't think having that many heroes is the way to do it, right? Something in between World of Warcraft and maybe Baldur's Gate, or having, say, for example, maybe a little bit more in-depth talent tree, being able to be, I don't know, level up certain types of weapons like other games have. Maybe not as hard as World of Warcraft used to have back in the days, but something to at least allow you to be able to build your character to your liking, right? And let me explain why. So, if let's say I decide, you know what, I want to have a warlock, right? I understand League of Legends does not have a warlock. I get that, but something to that effect. Well, I would absolutely hate to have every other warlock around me be exactly the same, which is unfortunately the reality for most games, right? It's hard to differentiate yourself from other characters. So the reason why I didn't use the example of League of Legends and select one of their heroes is because normally at the moment they do a pretty decent job in customization because you can just go back to the starting point, buy items, and you can kind of like change up your character a little bit. I hope they continue something similar. I want to be able to choose one of their characters and say, this is, let's say, I'm a healer. This is the healer that I want. And if I see another healer that has the exact same class, I want to be able to customize mine and be a little bit more unique. Looking back when World of Warcraft first came out, I had went completely demonology spec, had my Firestone, had leveled my sword max level. So between that, my Soul Link, and my Health Stones, I was actually competing in melee DPS with rogues. Granted, I did not do as much damage by far. By far. That being said, they could not drop me because of the amount of defense I had accumulated, armor that I had mixed in with my soul link, and I would actually go around melee DPSing, which you can't do that nowadays. A warlock does not make sense. You can't do that with a warlock. But back in the days, in 2005, my warlock was essentially a DPS, a melee DPS warlock, just because I had the option and I wanted something unique. Customization, this is what I need. I don't want to have the same type of character as everybody else. And League of Legends could definitely make this happen just because of the amount of characters they have and that they've already managed to establish a little bit of diversity. Look at Heroes of the Storm, which they essentially tried to copy flat out League of Legends and they failed miserably. One one of the reasons is if you decide to have let's say Thrall, while the other team will have the exact same Thrall, you're basically going against a mirror image of yourself. It's boring. It gets repetitive very fast. There's no choice. There's no options, right? Even the talents. I mean, you kind of have one specific talent uh, path that you have to pick if you want to maximize your DPS, for example. There's not that many options, right? So I mentioned on the end game the choices, certain things that you would expect to do when it comes to the world or your gameplay. This is some things that I want to kind of go over and expand a bit on that. So when you're playing a game, right? I mentioned before the end game should not necessarily be the main selling point of the game, right? You want to be able to have extra choices, and at the same time, when you do have a choice, you want it to matter. So if I decide to, let's say, save someone from a quest, or not, or just kill them off completely, you expect it to have certain type of consequences, positive or negative, right? That's how I see it. I mean, granted, there's up to a certain extent that you can kind of implement in an MMORPG game, an environment where everybody has to play the same type of game. There's only a certain type of things that you can do, but whatever you can do, do it, right? There's certain games that allow you to kind of contribute to, let's say, a faction, and as you're doing it, you're watching the city grow, become stronger, become more developed. It allows you to purchase different things. That city starts building castles that they can actually help you with your quests. Like there's so many things that they can do, and now it's to everybody's advantage to help that faction to grow, just so they can help you do X amount of things, right? World of Warcraft tried to implement something like that on more than one occasion. Um, they kind of failed miserably, miserably in that. They kind of just did it with grinding nowadays, and even while you're grinding, there's absolutely no consequence to it, right? The nearest that they had is when they had the AQ event, Al which was a long, long time ago. A long time ago. So the whole, like really, all the servers were working together just to open the gates, which was amazing. It obviously didn't work out because it essentially asked a whole WoW community to go to one specific spot, which kind of like crashed their servers. But you can implement something different. You want to be able to go back and say, well, my choices mattered, and I love playing this game just for the simple purpose that when I play it, something comes out of it. I'm not just playing it for grinding. The fourth thing that I would expect to see from League of Legends will be the storyline. So they have a very big storyline that they were able to create over the past years. Really beautiful trailers that go with their what's it called, their expansions here, as the game is progressing, as they're adding uh, new champions. They've been able to do a lot of great things. I expect while I'm playing the game to see some of that storyline unfold. I want to be able to say, well, you know what? I went to this place, I did this thing. Let's say we won or we failed. I want to see the result of it. I want to be able to not only see a nice cinematic and say, wow, that is beautiful, like they do in some games, and then nothing really happens from it, right? I want the story to be able to unfold, and I want it to be told nicely, right? I know this is not going to be the difference maker at the end of the day, but looking back, if you don't even have a good storyline, why are you playing it in the first place? There has to be something that's going to attract you that you can say, well, this looks interesting. Think of the first time you decided to play World of Warcraft back in 2004 or 2005, right? What really attracted you to that game? Thinking back, saying, oh, this is going to be a great MMORPG that's going to last years to come. Probably not, right? The difference maker was what? The story. We just played World of Warcraft 3, or I should say Warcraft 3. What am I talking about? Warcraft 3, Frozen Thrones after. So there was a nice storyline. We just saw Arthas went from good to bad, and we want to know what happened. And not only that, you're living it alive. You're one of those characters inside the game. That was such an amazing idea. And then showing up. I know in my case, my first class was an undead. Showing up in Undercity, right? Lordaeron, and seeing the ruins, the way it was built, right? Walking into the throne room, wow, can't speak. And actually being able to hear the voices of Arthas and his father. Uh, I mean, like the echoes, you can still hear them. And guys, if you didn't know that was a thing, go check it out. Go to Undercity in the throne room, increase your volume, and you're actually going to hear the voices of Arthas when he murdered his father. It was such an amazing experience to live that. The storyline is what's going to attract you. It's what's going to get your like really pique your interest. I expect to see it here. League of Legends has such an amazing story that they were able to develop over the years. It would be a shame if they just throw a game there and they tell you, well, here you go, just go play it, and they just leave it blank like that, as if you're just supposed to know what you're doing, right? At least in my case, I play League of Legends. I'm not a hardcore fan. I don't know what goes on around the game. So going in, I'm going in blind, quite frankly. So if nobody sits down and tells me, well, you know what? This is where we're at, this is what's happening, and this is what you have to do, quite frankly, I'm going to lose interest within the first week. And I'm being generous. Now, the last thing that I want to go over here is the grinding. So MMORPGs, at least the ones that I've played, they're very much known for non-stop grinding. And it's just painful. I mean, I get the fact that you do have to grind up to a certain extent. And if you do grind, they can really become obsolete very fast for what you're grinding for. So there has to be something in there that, A, if I do have to grind like crazy, I'm able to keep my item, my armor, my spell, or whatever else. I get to keep it for a while. I don't want to basically get my item and then just realize that, oh, I just did a raid, and you know what? Those 4 weeks that I spent trying to get that or build that item or whatever, crafted that item, well, guess what? It was all for nothing. That is so disappointing. Or B, because there's so much that you have to grind that you can never actually attain it no matter what you do, right? And there's a lot of examples that I can go over here. And I'm sure you guys have had these two types of situations happen to you as well. And it's not fun. It's really not fun. You're trying to get a specific item that, quite frankly, that you like, that you saw, that got you excited. And you realize that, honestly, it's completely unattainable for many reasons. Maybe you need a big group. Maybe you know that if you do get this item, there's another thing that's going to come up very, very shortly, and it's going to be all for nothing. So it's there, it's just in your reach, and there's nothing you can do to get it. So for me, this is the last point that I want to go through. So grinding has to be fun, A. B, if you do have to grind, make sure you're able to keep it. And C, make sure it's attainable, right? I'm not saying that it shouldn't take some time for you to get, but make sure you can actually do it. And if you do it, having fun doing it. And I want to keep it for some time. And the best example that I can think of off the top of my head, and again, I'm kind of comparing this to WoW just for the sole purpose that this game is actually in direct competition to World of Warcraft, is I believe it was the Burning Crusades when they had just started bringing out new items, uh, new sets and everything, and I was working my butt off to get a specific set that I can craft with my tailoring, going and grinding elementals day and night. And the second I got it, wouldn't you know it, they opened the Black Temple. So everything I worked for was out the window, despite the fact that what I created was not a legendary, I'm so sorry, was an epic. It was completely useless just because of the epics on Black Temple. I mean, that was so disappointed. I remember after that, that was the first time that I stopped playing World of Warcraft. It was so disappointed to go through all that work just to know that it was for nothing. So grinding has to be fun. And I hope here League of Legends does something to fix this, because most games, when you grind, it is not. So here are my final thoughts, guys. They have a chance right now to do something great. So I went over certain points that I think that will actually make a difference and make this game great. I would love to hear from you and see what you guys think, if you agree with me or not. But they have a chance to do a lot of great things and really pick it up a notch and take it to the next level. Because looking back at the existing games right now and what's available, it feels like they're really becoming more like cash grab, right? It's just let's throw a game out there and let's just make as much profit as we can before the gamers just get fed up, right? And again, I'm comparing this to World of Warcraft. Think of how it began, how the storyline worked out, and by the end, you're looking at Legion. Now we have aliens. We were going to the underworld, right? Essentially Shadowlands. It's becoming a little bit far fetched, at least by my opinion, right? Nobody has to agree with this, at least by my opinion. And every single expansion is going to cost you an additional $80 every 2 years. Plus, obviously, the fee has gone up, the monthly fee from when it started up to now, which is about $20, give or take, right? Because you also have taxes and everything. So that's a lot of money to dish out, especially if the expansion ends up being a flop. You want to be able to take out a game and say, I am excited for this game. I want to play this game and I'm willing to invest the money as long as I make it great. So, League of Legends, I hope you don't disappoint us. I'm really excited about this. I hope this works out and I'll be coming out with additional news, thoughts about this. I just can't wait as the development continues to see how this game ends up. So tell me guys what you think. I hope you like this. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.